Um, see if I can share these things. Give me a sec. All right. All right. So, like I said, please feel free to put your contact details into the chat. We'd love to support anything that you're already working on. There is some chat. Oh, there. And I am going to share my screen. But if you do have questions as I'm going through, please do. And these weekly check-ins isn't going to be any formal presentation or like PowerPoint stuff. I'm just going to share what I've been working on, and then if anything resonates, do let us know how best we can support your journey. So it will be a mix of nonprofit stuff and for-profit stuff because I do run a for-profit company. Oh, hold on. I was supposed to set this to go live so that the recording will be available. Let me see if this works. Um, okay, yes. Looks like it's working. Hold on. All right, boom. So if you're able to put into the chat if you're running a for-profit or a nonprofit, one for profit, two for nonprofit, that way I'll focus more on based on who's in the room, but I am going to touch on both. So one and two. Nice. Good to see you, Sabrina. It's been a while. Are you still doing the gift baskets? Yes? Okay. Please put your link into the chat because we should be buying gift baskets from you for our symposium and things. So glad to see you. I see a lot of one and two. That is really good. You're in a good spot because I am in that same camp, running a for-profit and a nonprofit, and then talking about how it intermingles and how you can leverage one for the other. So if you're only running a for-profit, start to think of how you can partner with nonprofit organizations because that really helped to amplify the different grants that we were able to get opened up to. And again, if you're running a nonprofit, think of what revenue generating activities you can be doing so that you have a social enterprise that brings in additional revenue. So, to give you a bit of background, so my name is Ryan Knight. Sometimes I refer to myself as Sir Ryan Knight, playing on my last name. You might know I run a detailing company, so we do mobile waterless car cleaning, but we also consider ourselves a social enterprise because we run. Actually, while I'm chatting it up, let me just pull it up so you see what I'm talking about. So we also run a youth entrepreneurship program where let me see if I have this set properly here. Let's see, youth entrepreneurship program. So we teach high school, college students, those that are even out of school, how to start their own business to become an entrepreneur by running a mini version of our company. So with Detailing Nights, we've been able to get access to grants, but also running it as a social enterprise that just earns revenue. So if you do know a youth that is looking for a job this summer, might be having a difficult time getting employed, we are doing our first info session of the season tomorrow. So tomorrow evening, same time, 6:30. Share it with your teenagers. Let me see. Does this link, would this link work? Hold on. Let me see if I click register, what happens? Well, I'll email the link after. But yeah, if you know anybody that is looking for a job, please send them our way. We want to show them they have the potential to start their own business and they run a mini version of our company. But I also am one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So that's why I love seeing the one and twos because yes, it does stretch your bandwidth, but if you're able to build a strong team in each, you are able to handle both and then both can amplify each other. So with ACBN, we support entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage their business is in, and then help them create a strategy to grow their companies. And so these Tuesday evening sessions is a way for us to talk about what funding is out there. Anything that we find, we will share. There is a funding spreadsheet that if you do not have access to it yet, feel free to put in your information. I will put this into the chat. And this is where I try to do my best to keep it as up to date as possible. And then I'll show you what the spreadsheet looks like. So this is typically where I spend most of my time just figuring out, okay, what grants are out there. Uh, the Desjardins Momentum Fund is an interesting one that is out right now. So if you have not applied for this one, we were writing this grant on the weekend. I just put it into the chat for you. And the hiring grant. So if you're looking for team members, ACBN, we do have a way to support you with the upfront money that you do need. You have to go through our microloan process to get approved for those funds so that it can cover your hire. And then the grant that you get for the hire from Job Skills covers the loan. So it's really minimal funds out of your pocket. And the way that we used our grant for ourselves is just being able to bring on team members. It really helped us amplify our outreach for when the symposium was coming up. We were able to sell out the symposium. We're increasing the amount of members we have. So we're about to hire a few more people to come in so that we can definitely keep growing. But that is one, oh wait, I put the wrong one in there. One sec. Let me find the right one because that one is the old link. And the platform that I'm in right now is our high level CRM. And it is a platform that you can get access to and for free for 3 months if you become an ACBN member, which is only $47 a month. And then if you do keep the platform only costs $67 a month. So we're actually doing office hours on Mondays, Monday evening at 7. So you can learn about how to navigate this platform. But I'm in here now because I need to find the right link so that you can do the hiring quiz. See if this one is the right one. So this is if you're looking for a 12-week you get a 12-week job work trial with job skills. So they'll cover up to, I think, 95% of the hire. A lot of times we do get stuck with needing to pay that money up front. That's where our microloan can come in. If you get approved for the microloan, then you can use that money to hire the person and then use the grant to pay back the microloan. So this link is good, although I do not like home 21,000. What is this? Let me fix this. Sorry. Mm, wait, what does it say first?
It's in the chat, Ryan.
Okay, nice. Yeah, let me fix this thing though. Hiring landing page is better. Landing page. All right, so when you click on this, does it take you there? Okay, so this takes you directly to the form. Yes. But if you want to go to the landing page itself, you can go here if you want to learn a bit more about the platform or the program itself. But yes, so disregard the first one, use this next one. All right. I do want to share with you, as I was talking about, so these things, Desjardins is for profit companies. Yes, a business owner, you can get up to 20,000. And so you can submit, and it's really good to actually connect with a local Desjardins rep because I think they want to see that you're at least connected to somebody in Desjardins that would be like your ambassador. So if there's an office nearby you, I would go and introduce yourself and say, like, hey, I heard about this momentum fund that Desjardins has for business owners. Or if you want to just say hi and introduce yourself without mentioning this first and say, hey, curious what Desjardins can do for businesses. And then also mention, I heard that they have this momentum fund. I would definitely try to dig deeper so that you have a rep that can be your ambassador. So this one, did I put this in the chat? Hold on. Did I put it? Desjardins, yes. So it's in there, but it's also on the funding spreadsheet if you're looking for it. I did want to share with you what I was working on the weekend, which is the Youth Opportunities Fund 2026 submission. So these are templates that you typically get access to when when either if you're in our course or if you're just working with our team. But this one has two applications in one because I had the old questions that were from like an older application, but now they've kind of changed the order of how they do the questions. So you'll see at the bottom here where the new questions start. What's this? New questions, new questions, new questions. I think it's here. Yes. Uh, okay, nice. And then when we did our workshop, we were using Claude to take all the past applications that we've already done it, put in, then put in the application guidelines, and then it came up with kind of a new modern, like actually three options. And then I made it combine all three options into one. So you'll see it's like woven all the three concepts into one kind of mega concept. And so now our Knighthood Academy, we have a division called Knights in the Community where we're training the trainer so that the ones that go through the program also get trained to deliver the program in the next cohort. So these are things that, hey, if you're not friends with Claude yet, and Claude is down here, also, what do I have Claude working on here? Oh, the sponsorship training that I spelled wrong, but hold on. You'll see all the different projects that we have. So the Knighthood Academy, consulting business, detailing nights, the car wash business, ACBN. It really brings all of my thoughts into one place and then you can kind of ask it questions. So I have shifted from ChatGPT to Claude because I love that Claude has an actual desktop option. And then Claude does work in your uh, Chrome browser, so it can actually navigate websites for you. And it also works in Excel, and I love Excel already. I love spreadsheets, so being able to just ask it to get things done, and sometimes things that I don't even know how to do, like pivot tables and such, it can just do it for you. So if you want to amplify any of your work, I would recommend Claude. So you might be asking, Ryan, I'm a nonprofit or I'm a for profit. How can I qualify for Youth Opportunities Fund? So if you don't know what Youth Opportunities Fund is, hold on, you'll notice that it's done through the Ontario Trillium Foundation, and the Ontario Trillium Foundation only funds nonprofits. So as a for-profit, you have to now look at what is the community work that you do, and then pull out just the community work and turn that into a project. So, or and even turn it into an actual grassroots organization. So back in 2018, that's what we did with our application. So we were able to work with a nonprofit at the time. We were working on, okay, how do we build out this youth entrepreneurship program that had already been running, but every time I applied on my own, we were getting declined. So because I was applying kind of from the for-profit business lens, so we were able to just take the project, to take the community work, the training itself, turn that into a grassroots entity and then be able to apply for the grant and we're successful. So this is where it's really important to one, have a nonprofit that you're working alongside, and then also look at the community work that you're already doing. And this would open you up to these other grants that are available. So you'll notice this one is due tomorrow at 5. So if you're just hearing about this for the first time, yes, I apologize for the last minute, but there was a session on Sunday. So if you missed the session on Sunday, I tried to give a bit more warning time, and we did do a session, I think 2 months ago, because this had been open since, when was this open? February. So I've been talking about this all, and it's in the spreadsheet. So sometimes people say, "Oh, I send out things late," but I trust me that it's in here. Actually, let me see where it is to make sure I'm not lying. Is it in here? Yes, it is. So the Youth Opportunities Fund, that's why we should always be checking, but I should have taken this and put it over here because it is eminently due. So that I do apologize for. Upcoming deadline, April 15th, 2026, Wednesday, 5 p.m. All right. So if you're looking to do the Youth Opportunities Fund, I will put this one in the chat as well. So those are the two main grants that we've been working on. So the Desjardins one and the Youth Opportunities Fund. We were debating if we were going to do the Family Innovations Fund. That one I've never been successful with. So I kind of went back to what has been tried and true, the test grant. But there is one, because the Youth Innovations Grant, you do have to have a core team for your grassroots entity where if an adult is involved, it can't be majority adults. So one adult and two youth or three youth, those have to lead the grant. For the family innovations, it can be adult led. Just I have not had success with this grant, so maybe that's why I should put in one to see and break that streak. But this one's due tomorrow too. I have to sleep on that. I don't know. If anybody has a good idea for the family innovations test grant, we might do a power session tomorrow morning. We can collaborate on it. All right. So those are the two main ones. But I also wanted to show you, and just let me pause if anybody has questions about the Desjardins or the Youth Opportunities Fund. Because the Youth Opportunities Fund, it does take some time to get it done. I would say you would have to dedicate like a good 2 hours. I'll put the portal link because if you do not have a what you call an account on the portal, please do register for that today, like right here, create an OTF account. And then once you log in, oops, what is my login? You'll see the application, available applications here. And if you do need an organizational mentor, ACBN is applying to become one. So if we do become one, we can help you with you need a trustee because your grassroots entity cannot be the lead, like it can't receive funds from YOF. You need a trustee to do that. So keep that in mind if you're gonna go for it. Uh Sophia, I see your hand up. You can go ahead.
Hi, Ryan. Good night.
Good night.
I wanted to just get clarification. So you're saying for the youth,
Mm.
what is it, the test innovation version of this application, it can only be one adult, but it has to have youth that are leading the grant.
Yeah, so for a grassroots organization, they want to see a core of a minimum 3 people. And then those 3 people, if it's the Youth Opportunities Test Grant or the Youth Innovation Test Grant, the youth have to be part of designing and implementing the grant. Actually, let me see if I can still log into this thing. Yes. So you'll see, uh, it does ask you questions about like if you're if the adult is leading the application, they want to know, okay, what is your role in the process and the project? What's the role of young people in the project? So yeah, they would have to be involved. So it can't just be you're writing the grant and then telling youth what to do, pretty much.
Thank you. And then just to
Mhm.
clarify for the Desjardins, are you going to speak a little bit more about that after you talk about this one?
Well, this one, yeah, I'm still learning more about it because I was talking to the person I know here in Durham that's in Desjardins, but then they didn't know about it. So we're kind of learning about it together. So that's where I was saying you do want to touch base with your current, the closest Desjardins representative. And then I think they have to kind of ambassador you into it. So yeah, as I learn more and when we get access to the actual application, then we'll share that. But for now, first step is to go talk to somebody you know in Desjardins.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
You're welcome. I do see a couple questions for the youth YOF. What is the max? Oops. What is the max? And do you recommend ask for the max? So the max is 100,000 for the test grant and 150,000 for the scale grant and over up to 3 years. So you usually don't want to ask for the max, but you do want to ask for what you need. So I'll give you an example. Do I have the uh yeah, so this is the grant budget template that we had put in. So it is no, this is an old one. Not the right one. Why is that in there? Oh, that was the template. Yes. So you'll see here. I mean, we asked for pretty close, but we actually only asked for about 82,000. So the 82,000, because we're going to need an organizational mentor and they charge 15% admin, then it comes up to about 94,000. So if you're looking at what you need for the grant, for this program, you said we need a part-time manager and a part-time coordinator and to cover the mercs. This is where, and then everything. So you really want to budget out what it is that you need to execute. Because if you don't need 100,000, I wouldn't just fluff it up to hit 100,000 because the grant is very difficult already. So if they see realistic numbers, you've started to, like price out exactly what things cost and the estimates are close to what's realistic, and it comes up to 80,000 or whatever, 50,000, asking for that is a lot better than just kind of maximizing to ask for 100,000 and the numbers don't really make sense. So let me know if you have a follow-up question to that, Leslie Ann. The other question I see, do you need to show previous financials for the OTF grant? How are we able to qualify in general if you're a newer NPO charity without formal financials? So this is where the Youth Opportunities Fund is really good, or the Family Innovations Fund is good, because you don't have to have a fully registered charity or nonprofit. Even if it is registered, if it's still early on, I think if it's under 50,000 operating budget, you can still qualify as a grassroots organization and you don't need to submit previous financials. You would just need to partner with a trustee. So the trustee, when they apply, they're going to need to submit their financials. I think they ask for about 3 years. So they need to be a more established nonprofit or charity, and they'd be able to kind of handle the financial stewardship of the funds, but it's really a flow through. So the money would go to the trustee, they would keep 15%, the rest goes to you for you to operate, and then you submit your receipts and your budget and what you're using the money for. And then the trustee, well, you still do the reporting to YOF, but the trustee is the one that's going to be like accounting for that you spent the money and what the receipts, all the receipts and everything. So to answer your question, no, you as the organization applying does not need to submit previous financials. it's actually better that you don't have them because you would qualify as a grassroots organization. All right, so this is an example of the budgets. Quick example of the work plan. So this spreadsheet, they pretty much want you to go line by line with every milestone that you want to hit. So this is where I encourage people to write this grant because it can be the blueprint for every other grant that you write as well. Because every grant is going to ask you, what is the budget, and walk me through the work plan. And this one is actually a 3-year work plan. So being able to flush this out of your mind and know, okay, I need to do project planning. I need to do outreach. I need to do the workshops. We're going to do mentoring. We're going to have an event project. We need to train our staff. We need to do, we're going to do more workshops. We're going to have an end of year ceremony. We're going to then evaluation. That is pretty much like 90% of the grant is these two things. So any other grants that you find, you will have 90% of it done, and you can really just massage it to whoever the funder is that you're working with. So just before I hop to next conversation, more around like reaching out direct to foundations and even what we've been trying to do with our sponsorship outreach. But did anybody have any other questions about the Youth Opportunities Fund? I'm hoping I've convinced you to write it. Don't let it pass, and there's no way to get it if you don't apply. Let me see. Okay.
I I would say that I do have a great program, but the
Mhm.
only thing is that I did not know it was youth led. I already
Mhm.
wrote, I already have it formulated and everything like that, but I don't believe, well, now that I understand, I don't have two youth present um, that could lead the program, if you understand what I
Gotcha.
mean.
So I would then go for the Family Innovations Test Grant because this one can be adult led, but you do still need a core group. Like you can't, I wouldn't apply just on your own. I would find who are you working with on this grant, and this one, yeah, this one would apply if you're not working with youth directly because it can support the youth or the family, and it doesn't have to be youth led. So I would do your expression of interest for the Family Innovations Test Grant.
Hmm. Okay, I'll take a look at that and see if it's a
Mhm.
good fit. Because when I created the program, it was for youth. It was to train them um, on some things that I'm working on that I thought would be
Mhm.
beneficial in terms of developing skill sets for career in what I do. Um,
I
so
would
yeah,
grab two youth that you've trained in the past and say, listen, we're working on a project together. And include them in the design process and get it in. I mean, if it supports parents, guardians, or caregivers, then family innovations is still good. If it does directly support youth, I would reach into your alumni and say, hey, would you be interested in partnering on this project? You are a success story out of it. I want you down to be part of designing the next phase.
I
And
think they exceed the age. There was an age, right? I think it's 29. I think I
right,
saw.
right, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they exceed the 29.
Okay. Well, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I would
But
still
oh no,
get
I'll keep it in mind. I'll keep working on it, and trust
yes.
me. Thank you.
No worries. All right. So one other thing I did want to share today. So being able like waiting for when grants open is fine, but one thing that we realized is if you have a strong program, you need to reach out directly to foundations that exist that are mandated to support projects like what you do. So we've been working on this spreadsheet. Well, in the funding one, let me check this one first. I've been trying to do my best with reaching out, like finding the contact details for all of these. different foundations. So in this funding spreadsheet, it's always good to check their website and then see the best way to apply for the grants that they have. And again, you might be saying, well, these foundations typically would only fund charities. Yes and no. So the CRA did create a way for non-qualified donees, which are nonprofits that are not registered charities, to still get funding from um, these types of foundations. It is still an early conversation to have with these foundations. So it is good to have like a trustee partner. So if you know of a charity that you can work with, so that if a foundation does want to fund what you're doing, but they need a charity to be your trustee, same again, you have that relationship. So looking out at what nonprofits and charities already have like your same mission, figure out ways to partner with them, because then it'll open you up to more grants. And a lot of times, some charities might not know about these foundations and that they can get funding direct. So if you're able to make the connection and support them maybe with the application, or sometimes they have strong grant writers, but they can include you in that application. And that's something that we've been able to do, is just kind of tag along to another charity that's already writing a grant, or letting them know, hey, this grant exists, we can work with you on it. So that way you're not, well, a lot of times you can't even apply on your own. So knowing that these foundations exist is one thing, but how you approach them is really important. So don't discount it, just figure out how to get creative and partner with, pretty much partnering with the entity that would have the best chance. And one thing, these community foundations of Canada, we know that there's 200 of them across Canada. So if your work can be national, you can literally reach out to each of these community foundations in each city and say, hey, I'm working on this. Is this something that you would support? Or partnering with an organization in the city where there's a community foundation, because we've been able to talk to like the Hamilton Community Foundation, London. We're going to talk to Oakville. We've been talking to Toronto. And then once one is involved, then you can tell the others like, hey, Hamilton's in. Clearly their due diligence was, they gave us the green check mark. So the other ones feel better about talking to you, at least because you've already gotten one of the foundations on board. So something to look out for. If your work is local, then 100%, because I know Brampton has one. Actually, I don't know if Mississauga has one. That's a good question. Does Mississauga have one? Let me see. Uh, where's Mississauga? Oh, looks like it. Community Foundation of Mississauga. Yes, they will be getting an email tomorrow morning. So I know Brampton has one. Where's Brampton? Come Brampton's have an office. I'm quite confident that Brampton has one, but I don't see it there. Looks like Milton, so Halton has one. Is this one Peel? No, it says Mississauga. And then Oakville, Toronto. So yeah, this is a great place to start, because look at the assets that they are managing, $1.4 billion. And the interest from that is what they've been granting out. And a lot, and they also are creating, I heard them say they created a social impact fund. So that fund is to invest into social enterprise or impact investments. So if you have something that they're able to invest in, so this is different than the grant dollars, because the grant dollars, let's say they're managing $1 million, the interest from that, they might earn 10%. So $10,000 would be the grants that they're giving out. And those are typically very competitive. But if you have an investment for them, and the social impact fund that I heard the numbers about 25 million that they want to invest. So if you have a project that they can invest in, now you're talking about the full. So instead of the 10, well, it's still the million, No, wait, sorry, 10% of a million is 100,000. So 100,000 is what they're granting out if they're granting out the interest that they have in their endowment. But if they're now looking for something to invest in, that entire $1 million you'd be open to because you have something of value that they want to invest in that aligns with their impact fund. I don't know if they have anything about that on their websites yet. Let me see. Community Foundation Impact Fund. Mm, so it does look like Toronto Foundation talks. Oh, yeah, here we go. So we work with fund holders to grow the program and invested 14 plus million. So they've already been investing, and I think it's grown to about 25 million. What is this? And here are the board of directors, people making decisions. Yay, Dennis Mitchell, one of the co-founders of the Black Opportunity Fund. Andrew Spence. Oh, I know a different Andrew Spence, not him though. And then you see the different committees. So, I mean, so the spreadsheet that we use to kind of keep track of all the foundation research that we're doing, you'll notice I'm always looking for people's LinkedIn so you can touch base, find their email. I think we have over about 450 email outreach, and in the short list, it's getting better, but confirmed funding is getting better. So this is where it is a grind, but I'm telling you, the relationship that you can build with a foundation once they know who you are, that to me is priceless. Because when we got connected to the first foundation, they were able to introduce us to foundations that they know. So this is where you want to start mining spreadsheets like this and say, okay, what foundations match our mission? How can we create a relationship with them and then have some sort of project or something that they can support and then get their partners to be able to also support it as well. What was I looking for? Oh, the impact fund. Oh, where'd it go? Yes, I was gonna say, okay, this investment committee. I wonder who we know on this investment committee. Oh, there's a lot of look that who we connected to. Tim and Wayne. So I'll say, Wayne, can you connect? I don't know if that causes conflict of interest, but I'll risk it. So all these people need to get a what you might call it. Oh, there's a different committee. All of them need to get a connection request. You need to. Am I connected to any of these people? They need to know who you are. Rashid. Yes, I am connected to Rashid. So I say, hey, Rashid, can you introduce me to this person that I'm not connected to? Am I connected to Dennis? I better be connected to Dennis. Yes. So they're all getting messages. It's like, hey, introduce me to your network. This is what we should be focusing on as nonprofits, and you're already doing the great work. We just need the people with the money to know about your great work so that they can fund it. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Next week, we'll see what other, I mean, I don't, it's unfortunate that the youth innovation and family innovation is due the same day because that just creates pressure. But we'll see what other grants are available. But before we wrap up, we'd love to just open it up if there's any additional questions before we close out. Let's see.
Ryan,
Yes, yes.
I have a question for you. So, would you say that it's safe to begin writing the grants and putting together a plan, even if um, there's a not-for-profit that's not yet registered, just for like really getting all the information together, or should we wait until all that is lined up with the CRA and then begin the process?
This one, I would put your application in because you don't have to have everything registered and you can still get the funding. So they call it like a grassroots organization. So whatever you're thinking of, going through this portal process allows you to then get it out of your head, kind of put it onto paper. We always save the application in a Google Doc first and then transfer it to the portal. So then you can you can get approved without being registered with CRA. It's actually you can get the money to help you register with CRA and fine tune kind of the admin side and the governance of the organization. So to answer your question, yes, I would do the exercise of writing this letter of intent because that'll help you then map out all the questions that all the other grants are going to ask you too.
Okay, sorry to interrupt, can you put that Claude, I think that AI tool that you said, is that in the chat?
No, but I'll put it the Claude.ai. This is the one that I've been using. And in this, let me see. See, it's only because I love you guys. I'll share with you this one.
Can I ask
See.
a question, Ryan, about Claude?
Excellent.
Oh yeah. So
Would
this
you
link
would you
will
say
share. Oh yeah, go ahead.
would you say that Claude and Notebook are on the same level?
They serve two different purposes. So
Okay.
Notebook LM helps you to put in sources and then you can ask questions about all the sources that you put in. So it's actually a great way to collect all the different sources about a topic that you want to know about. And then you can actually connect Claude to learn from that brain. So and Notebook LM is really good for dissecting YouTube videos. So yeah, they play two different roles, but Notebook LM is not good at like creating results. Like it's good at research, but not like actually creating things. But oh man, actually that's not true. So it can it can create like infographics. It can actually create video explainer videos. Yeah, and Claude can't do that. So they do different things.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. All right. Any other burning questions top of mind? Yeah, so I'm gonna get this recording up. Usually we do it live stream to our YouTube channel. And then
Hi Ryan.
yes, yes, say Kingsley.
Yeah, the king is here. How you doing? Quick question. So I do have not-for-profit and charity. Um, based on your experience, is there a big significant advantage, applying with the charity
Um, like with this application or just in general?
in general?
Yeah, it depends what you're going after. So with a charity, you're able to easily it's easier to go direct to foundations and also direct to the public because you're able to give the tax receipts and you're a qualified donee. So if you're going to foundations, being a charity does help a lot. If you're like going for the Ontario Trillium Foundation or the Youth Opportunities Fund, it's not necessary. If it's going for Ontario Trillium Foundation Direct, which is the seed, what's it called? They have the seed and the capital. Those ones, yeah, they want to see a more established nonprofit. But for the Youth Opportunities Fund, no, it's not necessary.
Okay. And number two, as regards to the Dragons Den presentation, have you
Mhm.
heard from them?
No,
Any
I didn't.
updates?
Yeah, I didn't pitch, but nobody I know that went has heard anything just yet. So
Okay.
yeah. I'll
Okay,
stay
okay.
tuned.
Because I
Usually
did a
they,
pitch as well. I haven't heard from them, so I'm just curious.
oh, okay, they usually film the first week of May, so you're probably gonna hear within a week or so.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm just yeah, okay, okay, all right. So yeah, I was
Yes.
just curious. Like, I hope everything was good. Okay, all right. I will expect. Hopefully, I can hear from them.
Yeah, man. Please let us know. Well, they swear you to secrecy, but you can let me know that you got called back and went to audition. You don't have to tell me the results, but we definitely
Mm.
want to know if you at least got a call back. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'll share the results. Regardless, we always learn from. Now, but let's. So the only part is I wasn't able to showcase the tech behind the concept that I have. That's just
Oh,
my
okay.
only that's just my only concern. Because after reviewing the whole thing, I'm like, oh, somebody told me, tech is the go-to now. That if you can show the tech parts part of it, that will really really attract a lot of investors. So that's just my little bit
Gotcha.
of concern. Yeah, because I'm trying to launch an app for the concept. So, and I actually have it on my phone, but I just forgot to display it right there. So I hope I can get the
Okay, that's
opportunity again.
the pageant, the ebony one.
No, no, that's the property improvement company, the Flawless Solutions.
Oh, right, right. Okay, yes, gotcha.
Flawless Solutions, yeah.
All right, I do see a question. Oh, Noreen,
Thank you.
actually, you can go ahead. But thanks, Kinsley.
Thank you.
I have another question, Ryan. Okay, so what if there's a foundation that is being created and it's layered? So over a long term, it's gonna be multifaceted. At this point in applying for the grassroots funding, do we have to outline everything that is gonna be I guess contained within the organization, or can we just apply for what is applicable at the moment? And can you ever apply for two grants doing two different functionalities within an organization at a time, or is it usually one at a
To the first part, yes, the application that you would put in for the Youth Opportunities Fund would be specific to a project or a program. I wouldn't include the entire macro level explanation of all the layers. I would keep it very specific. If it's now, if it's a program within a bigger entity, that wouldn't qualify. It has to like show as its own grassroots thing so that if you're applying for multiple programs within one entity, the Youth Opportunities Fund wouldn't be a good fit. I would just go for the straight seed grant that OTF has and apply with the bigger entity, the foundation. If there are things that are coming down the road, then yeah, I would apply with just what the project is and not explain the rest of the layers because you can then use the money to build out the layers. So you can say like, hey, after you get that money, we want to use it for our governance to build out the registered entity, but I wouldn't include it early on. They just want to see like a tight project.
Thank you. That is very helpful.
Yeah, no, I did see another question. What have you found is the most important thing to say when applying for grants? Should we give them our secret sauce? Absolutely. I mean, if you're worried that the grant entity is going to take your secret sauce and I mean, run their own programs, I doubt that they're interested. Like if that's what the nerves are, let them know why you are the best person to execute this project. They want to like the money that they're putting out, they're very risk averse. So when we were first writing our grants, like I was telling them everything that we had already been doing, like, oh, we can, solve youth unemployment for all of Canada and the company is gonna grow. Like they just want to know that this project, you can execute this project with a realistic amount of touch points, the youth affected, even though you can do much more than that and it can be so grand. Be very specific, give them the exact secret sauce that makes you the best pick. And yeah, I would lean into that.
Hey Ryan, just a quick question. And I see that Charmaine, I think Charmaine's still in. So I did go through the loan readiness. And again, first, I just want to say quickly is that, again, I have to say that I'm very appreciative to everything that you have done and Chris Beth has done in regards to getting me connected with job skills. I did my first 7 weeks. I hired two people through job skills at that time, and I've kept them both. They've worked out very
Oh,
well.
solid. That's great.
Yeah, I was able to hire
Nice.
a graphic designer and basically like an executive assistant. And
Mm,
so
solid.
it's been tremendous. It's really rounding out my business. And now this time around, I've hired about four more people in different roles.
Solid. I
So
love it.
it's been fantastic. It's really stabilizing and putting strong pillars within my business. So I'm extremely grateful and thankful for that. Um, so of course, as you stated earlier at the beginning, that working capital and like ensuring to have, like, I won't lie to you, I wanted to make sure that I always had those payrolls
Yes, yes.
every bi-weekly to make sure that, I don't have a bad reputation of not making my payroll or anything like
Right.
that. But I've made it and it's
Mm,
been fine. Now I've hired more, so there's more to do. So the loan readiness, the micro loan
right.
is something that I did apply for.
Mm.
And I see that I filled out a few business assessments and everything like that. So I don't know if yourself or Charmaine could kind of comment to how that's going, because I will be straightforward. That would help me to get through usually, because I think it's every 6 weeks now that you get reimbursement from job skills.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's going to be a little bit tight. So I just want to
Mm.
maybe, if Charmaine, maybe she'll update me later, or just understand usually when applying for the microloan, what are the steps so that I'm prepared to know what's coming down the pipeline, I guess.
Yeah, and I know Chris Beth is the one that does run the program, so I can check with her just to see what stage the application is in. But yeah, typically people that apply for the microloan, they go through like the loan readiness and then they're able to apply. We're trying to shorten the time frame for those that are using it for the hiring. We haven't quite figured out the flow yet, but yeah, we'll keep you in the loop. But since you've already done it, it shouldn't be too much longer. Like it
Okay,
when the
perfect.
application's in, yeah, it takes like 2 to 3 weeks.
I see Charmaine has been corresponding with me, so I know it's fluid, but I just thought I'd ask since I had you here.
Oh yeah, no
Um,
worries.
but yeah, the loan readiness for anyone who hasn't done it.
Mm,
I was telling Chris Beth the other day
mm,
that I felt like my stomach was in knots, because it's so straightforward and to the point of what you need to do to get prepared for financing, whether it's, a loan, basically being loan ready. So the things that you had to do to be prepared in order to be in a position for a loan, it was just right to the point. And I was able to connect with Shalom, which is, I know, the accountant that works with
yes.
ACBN, and get personal taxes done and a lot of things. So I'm definitely giving my testimony that a lot has transpired positively for my business in regards to the connection. So, I just have to say, keep up the good work and thank you for everything.
Yeah, our pleasure. Again, anything that we can do to support the growth, we're here for that.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah,
Sweet.
okay, okay, Barry, I'll check with Chris Beth as well.
Mm.
Thanks for sharing.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Charmaine. Awesome.
All right. Was there any other final questions before we wrap for the night? Just quick check. Sabrina, did you ask something about the gift baskets or was somebody else asking? Okay, yeah. Did you put your link? Okay, good, good. I think somebody was asking about your gift baskets. Sweet, sweet. Yes, awesome. So yeah, again, we'll be here weekly. Anything that we find, anything that we're going after, we'll share our process, and the better we get at connecting with potential funders, hopefully we'll be able to share that with our network and also link you in. If you are running a nonprofit and do need support with fine-tuning governance, we have a different kind of support arm for that. If you are a for-profit and need support with getting loan ready, our loan readiness program and microloan is great for that. So we'll send that in a follow-up, but always good to see everyone and enjoy the rest of your evening. And I guess we'll see each other next week. Or we'll see you on Thursday, which is
Yes,
our
I was
first
just gonna say.
Okay, go on, Charmaine. Yes.
Yes, on Thursday in the drop-in, we are having a special presenter, so please join us. He's Ryan Jackson from ADP, and they will be looking at how you can improve your wealth situation with your business through payroll, people, and your systems. So it's very important for you to join, and that's at 6:30. We'll send the invite.
And I'll put it in the chat as well, just so that it is there. Wealth building workshop. That's the right one. Yes, it is in the chat.
Thanks, Ryan. Have a good night,
No
all.
worries.
Thanks, Ryan.
You're welcome. I do see Leslie Ann asking, yeah, I was thinking if I was gonna put in a grant for the family innovations, but it's too tight. I don't know if I'll be able to plow through it. Which which one were you gonna go for, Leslie Ann? The youth opportunities or the family innovation? Oh, did I lose you? Oh, no worries. Yeah, you can send the notes if you have any additional questions.